Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lolly dolly everybody from around the world, it's your boy Ramonepreston right here on the Ramonepreston Show. Today is Tuesday, October the 18th, 2022, and we are just 4 days away from our final live public event of the year. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. This is the Tuesday that the Lord has made. We are here rejoicing and we're glad in it. Good afternoon to you, wherever you're coming on from. Please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button. You know you gotta tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy Ramon, my squad, and the Ramonepreston Show. We're live right here on this beautiful Tuesday, October the 18th, 2022, in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, the home and the headquarters of Ramonepreston Enterprises. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please be sure to put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. Who you represent? Let me know. Put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. I'm super excited because today's show is going to be centered around a very critical question I want to ask you, and I need some responses from you, okay? I need some interaction. We are on the internet, and we need some interactions on the internet, and that means you're going to have to start using your phone, your tablet, whatever the device is, unless you're driving and preoccupied or hiding out on your job, sneaking to watch me. You might not be able to comment and talk back to me. But if you can, please put in the comments what city you're watching me from today, and tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know we are live right here on the Ramonepreston Show. Today is Tuesday, October the 18th, 2022. And if you don't know, now you know. I'm Ramonepreston. I'm the host of the Ramonepreston Show, and every Monday through Friday, live at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I show up here on this show. My squad, we show up here on this show, and we show up to share information with you that we know can be used by you if you use it to properly start, structure, and scale your businesses and your income streams. So it doesn't mean you have to be a business owner to take what I share and succeed. But what it does mean is you got to listen to me, and you got to listen to me enough until what you hear me say gets in you and you start using. One of the greatest compliments I've gotten just recently was a compliment I received last night. Every Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. I host a weekly coaching call. It's a live Zoom call. So me and all of our mentees who are in our coaching program, they join me every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m., right? And we do a deep dive into different subject matters. We answer questions, they give feedback, we hear testimonies and success stories of so many amazing people who are doing great things because they're learning how to scale their businesses. They're learning how to make money. They're learning how to be real CEOs. They're learning how to build infrastructures. All this stuff that I'm teaching them, they're learning it. But one of the greatest compliments I got just recently was a compliment last night from one of our mentees. And he was saying that out of all the videos he watched, out of the coaching sessions he's had, out of the one-on-ones he's had to sit down with me and talk with me, and out of all the things that he's participating in as a member of our Millionaire Mentorship Program, he said he was watching the Ramonepreston Show just recently, and there was something I said that resonated, and he was thinking to himself, I'm doing all this other stuff. I'm listening to them. I'm following them. I'm getting coached by them, mentored. I'm being trained and taught on all these principles and concepts. And he just happened to be watching the show the other day, and something I said resonated and the light came on. I'm bringing that up because even if you are not a member of my Millionaire Mentorship Program, even if I'm not your coach, even if I ain't your consultant, even if you're not a student in my Millionaire Blueprint business and financial training program, even if you've never purchased anything from me or attended any of my events, guess what? The fact that you're watching the show today proves that there's something inside of you that's telling you, that's pulling you, telling you that you're going to be great and pulling you to that greatness. But you got to listen in, you got to dial in, you got to focus in, and you got to take what I'm sharing with you and you got to use it. So with that being said, today I want to talk to you, but my discussion, my talk to you, my lesson for you is really centered around the question, how much do you know about a holding company? How much do you know about holding companies? Like literally, how much do you know? I'm asking you that question, and again, I want you to give me some feedback. So put in the comments, how much do you know about holding companies? So that answer could be nothing. You might not know nothing about it. That answer can be you know a little, or that answer can be you know a whole lot. Now don't tell me you know a whole lot and you ain't got no doggone holding company. Don't tell me you know a whole lot and you ain't doing nothing with your holding company. Because it's very difficult for me to believe that you know a whole lot about something and you ain't doing nothing with it. So let me know in the comments, how much do you know about holding companies? Do you know a little or nothing? Do you know a little or do you know a whole lot? Please let me know. I want to know, how much do you know about holding companies? Please put it in the comments. How much do you know about holding companies? Now, one of the reasons why I'm asking that question, and please put your answer in the comments. One of the reasons why I'm asking that question is because the most successful, wealthiest people on the planet and the most successful, wealthiest companies on the planet, they understand the concepts, the principles, and the practices on holding companies. This is what I want you to understand, okay? And whether you know nothing about holding companies, a little or a whole lot, there's always room to know more. But what I want you to understand is the most wealthiest people on the planet, the most wealthiest companies on the planet, are people and companies that understand and utilize the holding company concept. They understand the concept, they understand the principles and the practices. And that's what I want you to understand today. So if you want to know more or a whole lot about the holding company, first of all, you're going to have to understand that the holding company is more than just a legal entity. All right, the holding company is more than just a legal entity, because it's easy for you to just go start an LLC. Everybody know how to start LLCs today. Everybody know how to go to the Secretary of State and start an LLC, but everybody don't know how to use that LLC for the purpose of creating wealth. And that's the difference between the wealthy people and the wealthy companies and everybody else. I'm talking about everybody else. This is why only 1% of the world is in that category, because they utilize concepts and principles and practices that most people, almost everybody else, doesn't. So if you're gonna up your game, if you're gonna increase your knowledge, if you wanna know more about holding companies, well, first of all, you need to know more about these concepts, because the holding company is more than just a legal entity that you file and form LLC paperwork with the Secretary of State. The holding company is about learning concepts, ideals. The holding company is about learning principles. The holding company is about learning practices that you can implement and execute on a day-to-day basis through that legal entity, through that LLC. No matter what the entity is, whether it's an S Corp, a C Corp, or LLC, or a partnership, or whether it's in Wyoming or DC or Nevada or Florida, the bottom line is this: in order for you to increase your knowledge about holding companies, you've got to increase your knowledge about the concepts behind the holding company. Like, why why do wealthy people run wealthy companies that are actually designated as holding companies? And what exactly do they know? What concepts do they know? What concepts, what ideas and beliefs and views do they have about business that everybody else don't? What principles and practices do they utilize on a day-to-day basis that give them this leverage, this luxury, this liberty, this freedom, this flexibility to continue to get wealthier? And everybody else who work hard, everybody else who got great looking logos, everybody else who got flashy, catchy domain names and got cards and apparel and got all this other stuff, they ain't doing what the wealthy people doing. So I would love to know, I want you to put in the comments, how much do you know about holding companies? How much do you know about holding companies? Do you know nothing? Do you know little? Or do you know a whole lot? Because again, there's a reason why some of the wealthiest companies on the planet are holding companies. Let me name a few companies that you might be familiar with that are actually holding companies. You might know some of these names. Berkshire Hathaway. Have you ever heard of Berkshire Hathaway? Berkshire Hathaway is the company that Warren Buffett owns and runs. Well, that's a holding company. Berkshire Hathaway owns Fruit of the Loom. They own Geico Insurance. They have a big stake in Coca-Cola and a whole lot of other major corporations in the world. Berkshire Hathaway is a holding company, all right? There's a reason why they're a holding company, correct? I mean, it's a wealthy company. Alphabet. Do you know about Alphabet? Alphabet is a holding company. Alphabet is the company that owns Google. It's the company that owns YouTube. As a matter of fact, Google and YouTube existed before Alphabet. It was just within the last few years that they decided to create a holding company called Alphabet and bring the ownership of Google and YouTube under the holding company, the umbrella, the parent of Alphabet. Here's another holding company, Johnson & Johnson. I think they're changing the names. I think I was looking at some lotion or some powder or something the other week, and I saw on the back it said J.C. Johnson or something. So I think they're changing the name. But Johnson & Johnson, okay, this is the holding company for a lot of products like baby powder, baby oil, and all the little things that you buy at the store. Here's another holding company, Prudential Financial. We've heard of Prudential. MetLife Insurance. MetLife Insurance is a holding company. JP Morgan Chase, that's a holding company. Bank of America, BOA, is a holding company. Walton Enterprises, the family holding company of Walmart and Sam Club. Wells Fargo, a holding company. Goldman Sachs, holding company. Morgan Stanley, holding company. Charles Schwab, holding company. Apple Incorporated, Apple Inc. This is the phone, Apple, holding company. Citigroup, holding company. Now, why are all these multi-trillion-dollar companies, definitely multi-billion-dollar companies, why are they all holding companies? Why are they all holding companies? There are so many reasons why. And this is why you need to increase your knowledge about holding companies, because there are so many different concepts, right? There are so many different principles, and there are so many different practices that can be utilized within these holding companies that can give you the leverage, the liberty, the freedom, and the flexibility to create massive amounts of wealth. So if you're desiring to become financially free, if you're desiring to be a millionaire, if you're desiring to become rich and wealthy, my question to you is, how are you going to do it? Or do you think you just gonna hit the lottery? Because most people who hit the lottery end up broke. Or do you think you're just gonna come up with the next Uber, the next Facebook, or you're gonna become like the My Pillow guy and sell 10 million units of a certain product and service? I'm not saying it can't happen, but what if that doesn't happen? What if that doesn't happen? What if you don't sell 10 million units of like a George Foreman grill or My Pillow? What if you don't create the next Uber? What if you never get the patent that gives you the ability to go public? What if that never happens? Well, if that never happens, you still have to believe in the dreams and the desires to become financially free. And you've got to figure out what are the next best vehicles that you can use to get from where you are to where you want to be. So it's kind of like where you are right now and where you want to be is like a location, right? Let's say if you want to be financially free, and that's a millionaire, a multimillionaire, you want to be rich, you want to be wealthy, you want to be a billionaire, wherever you want to be, but you're where you are right now. Okay, you can have a big windfall, you can hit the lottery, you can inherit money, you can create the next Uber or the next app or the next My Pillow or the next George Foreman grill, and that could just skyrocket you to where you want to go. That can happen, but based on math, based on just what you've seen in history happen, how many people does that happen for? Not very many. Very few people have those experiences. So you don't want to live the rest of your life hoping that you become a unicorn, hoping that you are the exception to the rule. See, I lived my life for a while like that. I remember a time in my life where I was just hoping and wishing and praying and believing every day I woke up that, man, I just hope a big bag of money fall out the sky. I just hope I come up with this idea and I can patent it and have this invention and just get rich. I just hope I can, create a product and 100 million people buy it. I had those dreams, those fantasies, but I had to get to a point in my life where I realized, man, that ain't finna happen. Bruh, it ain't happened for you. You gotta figure out another way. So again, if I'm here and I wanna go to a place financially that's like a different location, yes, I can take a skyrocket there. But if a skyrocket never shows up, now I gotta look at what is the next best vehicle I can get in that can get me there. You gotta go through this same thing. Because if you wanna play this wealth building game, if you want to get on the monopoly board of life and start making progress, you have to accept that there are certain concepts, there are certain ideals, there are certain beliefs, there are certain views about business, about wealth building, about economics that you gotta learn. You gotta learn them. You gotta learn them. You have to accept that. You got to learn these things. You can't expect for everybody else to learn them and then they're going to just use them for you. It ain't going to work like that. As much as I know about these concepts, I'm not using them for you. I'm using them for me. I'm packaging them in the form of courses and consulting and coaching services and programs to give them to you. I'm doing that, but I still can't do it for you. Even if you pay me for my courses, pay me to be your coach, pay me to be your consultant, I can't be you and do what you got to do. You still got to learn it. And if you're delusional about this, you're probably unwilling to learn these concepts. And you got to learn the principles. But the thing of it is, and I'm going somewhere with this because I want to talk to you a little bit more about increasing your knowledge on holding companies. But you have to understand, when I'm using the term holding companies, when you keep hearing me say, oh, you got to learn about the holding company, you got to start a holding company, I'm not just talking about you learning about and starting another LLC. Who cares because you got an LLC? My wife and I, we started everything we do in real estate. So we know, because we've worked with a lot of investors, developers, we've worked with people who are in real estate, and we're in real estate. And guess what? People start LLCs every day. People start LLCs every day. As a matter of fact, there are people who put offers in for properties at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they could get that offer accepted, and they put in that contract a clause to assign that contract to another entity that doesn't even exist, and then they go do a rush one-day turnaround to start an LLC. That's how easy it is to get an LLC. And there are people who hold real estate and assets in LLCs only until things turn or until the deal is done, and they transfer it somewhere else and they dissolve that LLC. So my point to you is, when you hear me talking about holding companies, I'm not just talking about you filing and forming paperwork for anonymity and protection and all this ridiculous stuff that don't make you no wealth. It don't create no wealth for you. It does nothing for you. It just makes you feel good about the ideas you have, but the ideas or the concepts are not wealth building ideas and concepts. So when you hear me talking about learning and using holding companies, I'm talking about learning concepts that allow you to create this vehicle called the holding company LLC, but for you to get in this vehicle and work that vehicle so that it can keep moving you closer and closer to your financial freedom, like any other business, but just with a twist of different concepts and principles and practices that the typical business owner doesn't have. Most people, when they want to get into business, they start a LLC, they offer products and services, and they go out there and they just knock on doors and bang, 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 trying to sell products and services, and they never really get nowhere. Wealthy people don't do that. Okay? All these companies that I just mentioned that are trillion-dollar companies, that are holding companies, none of them do what I just said. They don't have to. And even when a lot of them started, they didn't do it because they had certain concepts, certain beliefs, certain ideas, certain philosophies, certain views, certain principles that they lived by and they practiced on a day-to-day basis that gave them leverage to get further quicker. So even though we're not the same, you and I, we're not the same as the founders of all these companies. We're not the same as the people who run these companies today. We're not the same. Some of us are not the same by race. We're not the same culturally. We're not the same spiritually. We're not the same economically. And that means a lot of us don't even have a whole lot of the advantages that many people have. So that means you really got to get this thing right and make sure that you execute it on a high level. So I'm telling you, when you hear me talking about these holding companies, I'm showing you that there are certain concepts and principles and practices that you got to learn in order to play the game of business on a high level. You got to play the game of business on a high level. Now, this Saturday, just a FYI, this Saturday from 12 o'clock to 4 p.m., I'm hosting a free business boot camp. Just in case you ain't heard, this upcoming Saturday, October the 22nd, I'm hosting a free business boot camp. It's a live 4-hour event. I'm taking 4 hours and I'm going to be doing a deep dive, literally standing on my feet for 4 hours, teaching you, training you, educating you, answering questions that you give me about holding companies and creative tax strategies. Because I know I would not be where I am today if I did not use these same concepts, principles, and practices in my life. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have financial freedom. I wouldn't have a successful organizational enterprise. I wouldn't be the millionaire mogul with a millionaire blueprint and a millionaire mentorship program. I wouldn't be none of that. I'd be just another dude hustling, trying to make it happen, thinking I figured life out, and I ain't figured nothing out. But because I've educated myself on concepts, on principles, on practices that evolve or revolve around holding companies and business systems and wealth building, I have been able to create vehicles that have not necessarily skyrocketed me to success, but they are continuing to move me into levels of success every day I move forward. And that's what I want for you. And so this Saturday, I want you to join me. I want you to spend 4 hours with me. It's free. It's the last public event that I'm hosting of the year. Now, some people ask me, like, why do you host these free events every quarter? Well, number one, I want to introduce myself and my business to more people. That's why I'm doing it. I want to do business with people. That's what I want to do, business with people. I want people to do business with me, and I want to do business with people. I want people like you to connect with me. I want you to purchase my products and my services. I want you to use my company to help you start your business, structure it, scale it. I want to teach you and educate you and coach and consult you on business concepts and principles and practices and strategies and solutions. I want to be that person for you. So in order for me to do that, I've got to put myself out there. And sometimes in order for me to put myself out there outside of running ads or just posting on social media, I've got to put events together, and I've got to offer these events to the general public so that people like yourself can show up and hear me out and understand that, wow, these are the things that are going to get me successful. And then when you have access to this information and you know it's available, you can make a better educated, clear decision on whether or not you want to move forward with someone like me. So that's number one, the reason why I put on these free events. Number two, I really sincerely believe economic education and training and coaching and consulting, the things that I do in business and finances, I believe, I have a conviction that it's a part of my assignment. See, I'm a preacher, I'm a prophet, I'm a minister. I've been a full-time minister for 22 years. 20 of those years, I've been a full-time entrepreneur. And so I believe that it's a part of my assignment. I believe that God has anointed me. He has gifted me and has given me an assignment to really be available to my community, to help educate my people and show my people that you can love God and get the bag all at the same time. You could be committed to ministry and committed to the marketplace without compromising any of the two. And I have successfully done both. I mean, to my knowledge and to my estimation, I'm successful in ministry and I'm successful in business, and I've never compromised either one. I'm just as anointed today to preach as I am to do a business deal. I'm just anointed to counsel somebody in their marriage and ministry as I am to sit down and consult you about your business. I'm just as anointed to do a $1 million real estate deal as I am anointed to pray for somebody who broke, who just trying to figure out what they need to do to eat tomorrow. I'm anointed. And so I believe this is my assignment. This is one of the reasons why I host these events. So if you have not RSVP'd for your free ticket to a free 4-hour event to learn the things you need to learn, because if you come to this event this Saturday, I ain't gonna say almost guarantee, ain't no way in this world. If you come to this 4-hour event Saturday and take all 4 hours to listen to me and to learn what I'm gonna teach you for free, I guarantee next week or just after the event, if you ask yourself the question, how much do I know about holding companies? You won't say nothing. You won't say, oh, I just know a little bit. I guarantee you're going to be saying, oh my God, I know a lot about holding companies, because I'm going to teach you a lot. And as a matter of fact, I'm not only going to be teaching you about holding companies, but I'm also going to be teaching you about creative tax strategies. I always tell my students and clients this. The moment you start making money in your business, no matter what type of business you have, the next problem you're going to have more, because you already got the problem, even if you work a job. But the next problem you're going to have is the tax problem, because now the more money you make, the more taxes you pay, unless you understand the basics of business accounting. And unless you're able to educate yourself on the creative ways that can be legally used to reduce your taxes and maximize your profits. If you don't understand these concepts, principles, and practices, let me know how you're gonna become a millionaire, because it ain't no other way. Let me know. I don't know no other way. It ain't no other way. There is no other way that you're going to just like legitimately become a millionaire and be successful financially if you don't have the right business systems that you're using, and if you're not implementing creative tax strategies within those business systems. I don't know what other way is it? You gonna do something illegal? What other way is it? You're gonna have a windfall and win the lottery, but a lot of times it don't last long because you're gonna pay taxes then too. And when you do get the after-tax money from the lottery, if you don't put some of that money or most of that money in business systems so that you can invest and generate more revenue, you're gonna be broke in a couple years. So these are the things that you need to learn, all right? So I want you, if you have not RSVP'd for my 4-hour event, I want to challenge you to do so today. If you have RSVP'd, I have already extended you another offer, and that was for you to have access to 2 of my signature courses, my holding company course and my creative tax strategy course. So if you've already RSVP'd, I've extended an offer to you. These 2 courses are $497 on my website. I'm offering both of them for $197, and they're on my website right now for $497 a piece. So instead of you going to my website paying $994 just because you're RSVPing and showing up, I'm giving you those 2 courses for $197 so that you can start educating yourself, training. So when you do show up Saturday, you're gonna have an upper hand. You're gonna be way more advanced than some of the people in there who haven't had access to these courses. So if you want to take me up on either one of those offers, I want you to text the word special. I want you to text the word special to 404-478-7213. I don't want you to be one of these people that every once in a while they reach out to me and they tell me that they wish they would have listened to me years ago. Like some of the same things I'm saying right now, if you go back and just watch my YouTube videos, you will see I started talking about some of these things publicly 4 years ago. Up to 2018, you're probably not gonna find a whole lot of information from me online, because I really didn't start getting into social media, like doing videos and really talking about this stuff until 2018. When 2018 came, I really started heavily talking about these things that I knew and that I was using and that I was seeing success in. And I knew that at that time it was my moment to start sharing this stuff with the general public and with more people other than just the people my wife and I might have just been doing business with. And there are many different reasons why I didn't talk about it publicly before 2018. One of the reasons was because I was pastoring a church. So I was like very busy pastoring a church, running a business. Me and my wife was doing so many things in our lives with real estate and with trying to really create success for ourselves to get stable. And it wasn't until 2018 that I started talking about this. But it's stuff right now I'm saying to people that I said 4 years ago to some people, and they didn't listen. They thought, oh, he's just trying to finesse me out of money. He's just trying to talk me into buying something. Okay, well, maybe I was, but I was also trying to talk you into doing better. I was also trying to talk you into succeeding. I was also talking you into not struggling. I was also trying to talk you out of being impoverished and being a victim to your economic situation. And a lot of them didn't listen. There are a few people who did listen to me. And 4 years later, I know I'm in a different place than I was 4 years ago. I know there's some people around me who are in a different place than they were 4 years ago. But I know a whole lot of people who are worse off than they were 4 years ago because they didn't listen. They didn't see 2020 coming. They didn't see the pandemic hitting. And then there are people that we talked to in 2020, we was telling them about now. And so now it's 2022 and I'm telling people, hey, if you want to be prepared for this generational wealth transfer, it's going to be like the greatest wealth transfer ever. Baby boomers are retiring. They're moving out of the way, and the markets are changing. And simultaneously, we're moving into more of a digital world. The digitization of society is happening. So now people, real people, places, real places, things, real things are not as important today as they were just 2 years ago because of the digitization of the world. And now I'm telling people, hey, you need to position yourself in the marketplace correctly. You need to prepare yourself to be positioned in the marketplace correctly. And one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that you start and structure the right business system, that you integrate the right systems and processes or platforms within that business system, that you work on your products and your services so that when things start shifting and we see it in the world like it's visible to everybody, you already have the upper hand. So I'm saying it now so that 2 years from now, when we get into 2024, somebody listening to me right now gonna say, man, he said it in 2022, man, but I was just too busy, goofing off. I thought he was just shooting the breeze. All right, dog, whatever, bro, sis. You need to text the word special to 404-478-7213 so I can help you, if you know what I mean. So what are some of the things that you're gonna learn just in these 2 courses that I'm offering you? And I'll be talking about some of these things, not all of them, but some of them this upcoming Saturday. Well, just in my holding company course alone, let me share with you some of the topics that you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn the first steps in creating a holding company. So I literally have an entire startup kit in this course. I have walkthrough video tutorials. I literally show you how to properly file and form your paperwork to obtain your EIN for your holding company and for your subsidiaries. I show you how to obtain your articles of organization for your holding company and your subsidiaries. And there are certain categorizations and language that you need in order to properly designate these entities as holding companies and subsidiaries. You want to make sure that you do this right. I've got operating agreements already pre-drafted in this kit that all you have to do is just fill out, print, sign, and notarize, and you're good. Like, I got all this in this kit. You're going to learn about the power of a holding company. I teach on that. You're going to learn about how to leverage a holding company, how you use your holding company to leverage yourself and your business and your products and services. I teach you 5 reasons for starting a holding company. I teach you 5 ways to make money through a holding company. I provide for you at least the 5 most common documents for a holding company. I teach you this concept called the SMS matrix to show you how you can use a holding company, not just for the structure, which is the first S, but the M in the S is for marketing and sales. I show you how to really build a brand around your business and a brand identity and how to become the brand ambassador so that when you are marketing and selling, it's all consistent. Your message is consistent. Your advertising is consistent. Your presentations are consistent. I even talk to you about how to package your products and your services, how to convert your ideas into products and services. I teach you how to manage the day-to-day operations of your holding company, which primarily come through you integrating the right systems and processes. I teach you the 4 P's of a holding company. I show you all the ins and outs of a holding company. I also have about 5 or 6 modules in this one course teaching you the 50 things you need to know about holding companies. Literally, I answer about 50 questions on holding companies. You got a question?
Yeah. Did you go on your Facebook page?
We got a question on Facebook?
Yes.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
Let's see here if I can find where the question is. We've got a question on Facebook. So I want you to text the word special, okay? I don't want you to miss this. Text the word special. Let me see what the question is. We got a question on Facebook. Okay, Karen, question. I'd love to attend. However, I'm in Chicago. I met you at the RTK retreat. Shout out to my sis, RTK, and would love to attend virtually. Will you be broadcasting? Yes, Karen, we will be broadcasting virtually. We will be broadcasting virtually. Yes, we will. If you would like to RSVP for the virtual broadcast, just text special to that number and we'll get you signed up right now. We're here, we're live. We'll be more than happy to get you signed up right now. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to either text the word special to me or call that number so that we can get you, number one, RSVP'd for this Saturday, and number two, get you onboarded for the 2 courses so you can start educating yourself on all of these concepts, all these principles, all these practices, especially while you're still in the 4th quarter of this year. So we've only got 4 more days. This Saturday, for 4 hours, I'm doing a deep dive on holding companies and creative tax strategies. And I'm looking forward to having an amazing time. I think we already have over 100 people who have RSVP'd, and we're looking for 100 more. And you need to be one of the 100 for sure. So I want you to text special to the number you see behind me and tell Lolly Dolly everybody that there is a great wealth transfer taking place, and there's a guy named Prophet Ramonepreston. He's a prophet. He's a man of God. He's a preacher too, and he loves God. He loves God's people, and he is committed to helping us be a part of this generational wealth transfer. But he wants to educate you. He wants to prepare you. He wants to make sure that you are adequately positioned and prepared to participate in what's happening so that you don't be a victim, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, not just culturally, not just racially, but economically. And I don't want you to be a victim of that. I don't want you to fall victim to that. And the only way you ain't gonna fall victim to that is if you give yourself permission to invest in you. All right? You got to invest money in you. You got to invest time in you. You got to invest energy. You got to invest resources. And I'm packaging it all together in an easy, doable, edible way for you to get it the right way. So I love all of you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining the show today. We'll be back same place, same time tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, right here on the Ramonepreston Show.